Gadadhar Shiva Gaur Bhakta. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. We're continuing to read from Srimad Bhagavatam. We are on Canto 8, Chapter 3. Does anyone remember what we are reading?
Hare Krishna. We are reading the prayer offered by Gajendra when he was caught by a crocodile in the water and they fought for 1,000 years. Then he offered the prayers, the beautiful prayers. And so we were reading the prayers that he said that everything comes from Krishna, like how it was explained that how the potter is made up of earth, then the wheel of the potter himself, the everything is like Krishna is the original cause of everything. Everything comes from him. And so like, yeah, he was offering all these different prayers.
Yeah, thank you. So we are going to continue reading the prayers of Gajendra. Idrikshavo yasya padam sumangalam
Shavo yasya padam sumangalam
vimukta sangha manaya susadavaha
vimukta sangha manaya susadava
charanti alokavritam avranam vane
charanti aloka vritam avranam
bhutatma bhuta surida samekati
bhuta bhuta
Translation and purport by His Divine Grace, A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada. Renunciants and great sages who see all living beings equally, who are friendly to everyone, and who flawlessly practice in the forest the vows of brahmacharya, vanaprasth, and sannyas, desire to see the all-auspicious lotus feet of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. May that same Supreme Personality of Godhead be my destination. This verse describes the qualifications for devotees or persons highly elevated in spiritual consciousness. Devotees are always equal to everyone, seeing no distinction between lower and higher classes. Pandita Samadarshana. They look upon everyone as a spirit soul, who is part and parcel of the Supreme Lord. Thus, they are competent to search for the Supreme Personality of Godhead, understanding that the Supreme Personality of Godhead is the friend of everyone. Suridam Sarva Bhutanam. They act as friends of everyone on behalf of the Supreme Lord, making no distinction between one nation and another, or one community and another. They preach Krishna consciousness, the teachings of Bhagavad Gita everywhere. Thus, they are competent to see the lotus feet of the Lord. Such preachers in Krishna consciousness are called Paramhamsas, as indicated by the word Vimukta Sangha. They have nothing to do with material conditions. One must take shelter of such a devotee in order to see the Supreme Personality of Godhead. So, the pure devotee. The pure devotee is equal to everyone. He sees everyone as part and parcel of Krishna. And he understands Krishna as the best friend of everyone. And so, in that spirit, in that mood, he is serving everyone. So he is friendly to everyone on behalf of Krishna. And how is he a friend to everyone? He's giving everyone the teachings of Lord Krishna, as Krishna has given in Bhagavad Gita. He's giving everyone Krishna consciousness, and that's how he's the friend of everyone. because he understands that everyone is suffering here in the material world, and that one can actually truly be happy only when one revives one's relationship with Krishna. And so he acts as a best friend. Prabhupada is saying, if we also want to have our relationship with Krishna, we need to take shelter of such a devotee, a pure devotee. Na vidyate yasya cha janma karma va
न विद्यते यस्य च जन्म कर्म वा
na nama rupe gunadosha eva va
न नामरूपे गुणदोष एव वा
tathapi lokapyaya sambhavyaya
तदापि लोका अपयसम्भवाय यः
svamaya yatani anukalam richati.
स्व स्वमाययानुकूलं यच्छति
Tasmai namaha pareshaya
तस्मै नमः परेशाय
brahmane nanda shaktaye
ब्रह्मणे अनन्तशक्तये
arupa yo rupaya
अरूपाय उरुरूपाय
nama ascharya karmane.
नमः आश्चर्यकर्मणे.
The Supreme Personality of Godhead has no material birth, activities, name, form, qualities, or faults. To fulfill the purpose for which this material world is created and destroyed, he comes in the form of a human being, like Lord Rama or Lord Krishna, by his original internal potency. He has immense potency, and in various forms, all free from material contamination, he acts wonderfully. He is therefore the Supreme Brahman. I offer my respects to him. In the Vishnu Puran it is said, Gunamscha doshamscha mune vyatita samasta kalyana gunatmakohi. The Supreme Personality of Godhead has no material form, qualities, or faults. He is spiritual and is the only reservoir of all spiritual qualities. So Vishnu Puran is also saying that God does not have any material quality, no material form also. He has spiritual quality, spiritual form. As stated in Bhagavad Gita 4.8 by the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Paritranaya sadhuna vinashaya cha dushkrita. The Lord's activities of saving the devotees and annihilating the demons are transcendental. So the leelas of the Lord, they are not material activities. They're not bound by the modes of goodness, passion, or ignorance, but they are transcendental. Anyone annihilated by the Supreme Personality of Godhead gets the same result as a devotee who is protected by the Lord. Both of them are transcendentally promoted. The only difference is that a devotee goes directly to the spiritual planets and becomes an associate of the Supreme Lord, whereas demons are promoted to Brahmalok, the impersonal effulgence of the Lord. Both of them, however, are transcendentally promoted. The Lord's killing or annihilating of the demons is not exactly like the killing of this material world. So both the demons and the devotees, they are both uh, coming to the spiritual platform. The demons who are killed by Krishna. That was the whole thing that Yudhishthir Maharaj was asking Narad Muni, when he saw Shishupal's soul enter into the body of Krishna, and he was amazed. He's like, hey, what's happening? And then Narad Muni goes on to glorify Krishna, speak the glories of Krishna, and how that the demons also get liberation, but they don't get the personal relationship with Krishna. Yeah? Although they do get the spiritual liberation, but they don't have any interaction with Krishna, no personal association of Krishna. So, although he appears to act within the modes of material nature, he is nirguna, above the modes of nature. So we are bound by the modes. We are forced to act by the modes, but not Krishna. He's not forced to act by the modes. He is coming, he says, he's coming to protect the to protect the devotees and to annihilate the demons. That's what he does. His name is not material. Otherwise, how could one get liberation by chanting Hare Krishna, Hare Rama? So Krishna's name, that's Krishna himself, is spiritual. Golekera Premadana Harinam Sankirtan. This Harinam Sankirtan is coming directly from Golok Vrindavan. It's
Hare
spiritual.
Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Actually, I just want to know, like, demon means all demons who only killed by Krishna, or the demon like us also. Like we are also a demon, right?
Only the
Partially.
ones who are killed by Krishna.
One only the who kills by the Krishna. Okay.
Mm.
Oh.
Yeah, we have both qualities. We have qualities of demon, we have quality of divine, both in the us.
Mm.
So what we have to do, we have to practice to cultivate more and more the divine qualities and let go of our demoniac qualities. That's what we have
Mm.
to do. And so that's why Lord Chaitanya has come to give us this chanting of Hare Krishna mantra. By chanting the Hare Krishna mantra, that's how we can give up our lower tendencies, give up
Mm.
our demoniac qualities.
So the demons who killed by Krishna, they are fortunate to get death by Krishna. Like so,
Yeah.
it's a ultimate like blessings. We can say like blessings. Even they killed by Krishna, but they get liberation, right?
Yes.
So
Yes.
they have also the high quality, some high quality.
That's right.
Yeah, that's what even I wonder, I say, like, see, no, in fact, they're lucky.
Yeah,
They're getting
because even
delivered,
they are demon,
they're
but they
getting,
killed by Krishna, so they fortunate.
yeah, they're
Because we
fortunate
have to
sometimes.
understand that they are not
Uh,
ordinary souls
yeah,
also,
they are
right?
not ordinary. That's why I'm saying like they
Yeah.
are not ordinary. Their level are
Yeah.
very high.
Yeah.
Their
See,
level of what?
only
Demonic? Or
they
No,
no.
like knowledge. In even they are demonic,
See,
but they have high knowledge,
see
right?
for example, see for example. Now let's try to understand Ravan, Kumbhakaran, Hiranyakashipu, Hiranyaksha, Shishupal, Dandavakar. They are Jai Vijay. So they are devotees
yeah,
of Krishna who are playing the part of demons, right? So they are not
yeah,
ordinary people, right? That's how
yeah,
they
we were,
got to be killed by Krishna. So that's how we have to understand that anyone who's in Krishna's pastimes is not ordinary. They are
they are his
surely great
associates, right?
personalities. They are surely, yeah, Jai Vijay are his associates.
Yeah, they have just been given the thing to play actors.
Yeah, that's
So
right.
they just came to material world because of some curse, right?
That's
Or
right.
it desire of Krishna is different, right?
Actually, yeah, actually, it's Krishna's desire to have a
Oh,
good fight. Krishna
oh,
wanted to have a good fight.
hmm,
So he arranges like that. So they get cursed, they come as demons. So in that way.
hmm. So demon
So
have also the level like high level who are already associated with Krishna in the spiritual world and came to teach lessons to us, right? Like that.
yeah, Yeah. They came to have a good fight. Krishna wanted to have a good fight. Also,
Mm.
they came to teach us lesson that don't be a demon, otherwise you'll be killed by
Mm.
Krishna.
Mm. But
Don't
killed
have
by
this
Krishna
feelings.
is good.
But see, it's good, but it's going to only bring one to the Brahman, but not bring one
Mm.
to Golok Vrindavan.
Spiritual, yeah.
Whereas what the devotee wants, he wants to
Mm.
serve Krishna, he wants to be with Krishna. In Brahman, Krishna is not there. Although it is the spiritual sky, but Krishna is not there in the Brahman. He's
Oh,
not playing
yes. Mm.
in the Brahman. He's not playing, he's not having pastimes, he's
Mm.
not playing his flute, his gopis, gopals. No. So, although, yes, it is the spiritual sky, but the devotee, he wants more. He
Mm.
wants to enter in Krishna's pastimes, have a relationship with Krishna. Yeah.
So no any more incarnation, not incarnation. Uh, like Jai Vijay have did not came to the earth again. Like after
Vicky,
Hiranyakashipu, Ravan, Hiravan, and Kumbhakaran, and one more, I forgot.
Shishupal
Like
Dandavakar,
Shishupal Dandwarkar. So not anymore. Uh,
they came, they came,
they came.
they came as Jagai Madai
Chakai Matai.
because
Oh yes,
they,
yes.
they wanted to experience love of Krishna.
Ah,
So they
okay.
told Krishna, we want to come. Now you're coming in your most merciful incarnation. So we want to come again to
Oh
get
yeah.
this Krishna prema. So although they are getting there, you can see, the higher position of loving Krishna than rather than just being in the Brahman. Although yes, it's very nice and peaceful to be in Brahman, but having love for Krishna is even higher than that. So that's why Jagai Madai they came. They said we want this. We want to have love for Krishna. We want to participate in your pastimes, Sankirtana movement. Mm,
Yes. Thank you, Hare Krishna.
thank you. Hare Krishna. So the names of the Lord like Rama and Krishna are non-different from the person Rama and Krishna. Thus, by chanting the Hare Krishna mantra, one constantly associates with Ram and Krishna, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, and therefore becomes liberated. So when we are chanting Hare Krishna, we are associating with Krishna. That's how one can get liberated by chanting. A practical example is Ajamil, who always remained transcendental to his activity simply by chanting the name Narayan. If this was true of Ajamil, what is to be said of the Supreme Lord? When the Lord comes to this material world, he does not become a product of matter. This is confirmed throughout Bhagavad Gita, Janma Karma Chame Divyam, Avajananti Mamuda Manushim Tanum Ashritam. So when God comes to the material world, he does not take a material body. He's coming in his own spiritual body. That's what we have to understand. And if we can understand that, we can get liberated. To understand that Krishna's body is not material, is not under the modes of nature. He's not getting any karma, no karmic reactions. His body is spiritual. Therefore, when the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Rama or Krishna, descends to act transcendentally for our benefit, we should not consider him an ordinary human being. When the Lord comes, he does so on the basis of his spiritual potency. Sambhavami Atma Mayaya. Because he's not forced to come by the material energy, he's always transcendental. We are forced, right? We are forced, put in this body. Okay, now finish. Now time over. Forced to come out of the body. Again, forced. Now force, put it in another body. Okay, now time again over. Put in another body. Not for Krishna. He's coming when he wants to come, by his own will. One should not consider the Supreme Lord an ordinary human being. Material names and forms are contaminated, but spiritual name and spiritual form are transcendental. The spiritual platform is an absolute platform. That's why there is no difference between the name and the Nami, the person. Supreme Lord himself and his name are the same. Your material world, it is different. Water and the name, the sound water, are completely different. Our thirst doesn't quench simply by saying water, water, water. Is that okay? This verse?
Hare Krishna, what does Janma
Krishna.
Karma Cha Me Divyam exactly? What does it mean?
So to understand that Krishna's Janma, appearance, and karma,
Mhm.
his activities, are all transcendental.
Okay.
Mm. Okay.
And then after that it says
Janma karma cha me divyam evam
Me
yo
Divyam.
veti tattvataha tyaktva deham punarjanma naiti mameti so Arjuna. So that one who can understand in tattva Krishna's position as he is, then no more birth and death for him. One who can understand the transcendental nature, Krishna says, of my appearance and activities, does not, upon leaving his body, take his birth again in this material world, but attains my eternal abode. So, one who can understand that Krishna's body, his activities are spiritual, he gets liberation. He goes to the spiritual world, to Krishna Lok. Is that okay?
Yes.
Okay. Nama Atma Pradipaya
Maha Atma Pradipaya
Pradipaya
Sakshine Paramatmane
Sakshine
Sakshine
Paramatmane
Namo Giram Viduraya
Namo
Namo
Giram
Kiram
Viduraya
Viduraya
Manas Sash Chetasam Api.
Manasa Chetasam
Manasyastetasam api.
I offer my respectful obeisances unto the Supreme Personality of Godhead, the self-effulgent Supersoul, who is the witness in everyone's heart, who enlightens the individual soul, and who cannot be reached by exercises of the mind, words, or consciousness. The Supreme Personality of Godhead Krishna cannot be understood by the individual soul through mental, physical, or intellectual exercises. It is by the grace of the Supreme Personality of Godhead that the individual soul is enlightened. So one may try very hard with the mind to understand God, but one won't be able to understand. We need Krishna's mercy by His grace. So the more we hear and chant, the more we are attracting His grace. The more we engage in devotional service, the more we are attracting His grace. Therefore, the Lord is described here as Atma Pradipa. The Lord is like the sun, which illuminates everything and cannot be illuminated by anyone. Therefore, if one is serious about understanding the Supreme, one must receive enlightenment from Him, as instructed in Bhagavad Gita. One cannot understand the Supreme Personality of Godhead by one's mental, physical, or intellectual powers. So we need to hear about Krishna to understand Him. We need to chant His name to understand Him. Bhaktya Mama Bhijanati. He can be understood only by devotion, not by our mental speculation. God must be like this, maybe like this. According to me, should be like this. No. Satvena prati labhyaya
सत्त्वेन प्रतिलभ्याय
neshkarmayena vipaschita
नैष्कर्म्येण विपश्चिता
nama kevalyanathaya
नमः कैवल्यनाथाय
Namaste
nirvana sukha samvide.
Nirvana Sukha
निर्वाणसुखसंविदे.
Samriti.
The Supreme Personality of Godhead is realized by pure devotees who act in the transcendental existence of Bhakti Yoga. He is the bestower of uncontaminated happiness and is the master of the transcendental world. Therefore, I offer my respect unto him. As stated in Bhagavad Gita, the Supreme Personality of Godhead can be understood only by devotional service. Bhaktya mam abhijanati yavan yaschasmi tattvataha. If one wants to know the Supreme Personality of Godhead in truth, one must take to the activities of devotional service. These activities are called sattva or shuddha sattva. In the material world, activities of goodness, which are symptomatic of a pure Brahmana, are appreciated. But the activities of devotional service are shuddha sattva. In other words, they are on the transcendental platform. Only by devotional service can one understand the Supreme. So, bhakti, devotional service, activities of devotional service, is not ordinary mode of goodness. No, it is pure goodness, Shuddha Sattva. It's on the transcendental platform. Bhakti, devotional service, is actually transcendental. It's not mode of goodness. It's higher than mode of goodness. Pure goodness. Transcendental. And that's how, by engaging in devotional service, one can understand Krishna, because Krishna is beyond the modes. Devotional service is on the pure platform. Okay, devotional service is called Nashkarmya. Mere negation of material activity will not endure. Nashkarmyam apichyuta bhava varjita. Unless one performs activities with reference to Krishna consciousness, cessation of material activities will not be helpful. Now, how long can we sit down doing nothing? We are going to act. And even if we give up acting, that is not bringing us to the spiritual platform. So we need to engage in devotional service to bring us to the spiritual platform. In hopes of achieving Nashkarmya, freedom from material action, many highly elevated sannyasis stopped their activities. Yet they failed and returned to the material platform to act as materialistic persons. Because the soul is always active. We can't stay inactive for very long. So, but once one is engaged in the spiritual activities of Bhakti Yoga, one does not fall down. Our Krishna consciousness movement is therefore an attempt to engage everyone, always in spiritual activity, by which one becomes transcendental to material actions. So it's just we have to purify our activities. Act we must. We have to do something. Simply we have to purify our activities. Act for the pleasure of Krishna. That's what we have to do. And that is spiritual platform. And once we are on that platform securely, one does not fall from there. One in fact gradually increases, gradually increase more and more. So we need to just simply change our activities from material to spiritual. We cannot stop acting, but we need to change from material to spiritual. The spiritual activities of Bhakti Marg, Shravanam, Kirtanam, Vishnu, Smaranam Pada Sevanam lead one to understand the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Therefore, as stated here, Satvena Pratilabhyaya Neshkarmyena Vipaschita. The Supreme Personality of Godhead is realized by pure devotees who act in the transcendental existence of Bhakti Yoga. So, devotional service is the only way that we can understand God. The Gopala Tapani Upanishad 15 says, Bhaktir asya bhajanam tad iha mutropadi nirashyene va mushmin manasa kalpanam etad evacha neshkarmyam. This is a definition of neshkarmya. One acts in neshkarmya when he fully engages in Krishna conscious activities without material desires to enjoy, either here or in the upper planetary systems, in the present life or in a future life, iha amutra. So, what is actually neshkarmya? What is actually not working? It is pure devotional service. Pure devotional service is actually, because it's not material work, it's on the transcendental platform, pure devotional service. There's no material desire there at all. Anyabhilashita shunyam. When one is freed from all contamination and he acts in devotional service under the direction of the spiritual master, one is on the platform of Neshkarma. By such transcendental devotional service, the Lord is served. I offer my respectful obeisances unto him. So, what is really Neshkarma?
Pure devotional service,
Yeah, pure
where
devotional service. That's right. Simply by negating work, simply by giving up work, that's not permanent. We can give up work only for a very short time. We will again start doing work. So we have to change it, work on the transcendental platform. It is pure devotional service. Yeah,
Means we act in devotional service, but without material desire, right?
that's right. That's right. No material desire, only desiring to please Krishna. It is pure devotional service. Let's see how long is this.
it's quite long. Like, I mean, we can finish in 5 minutes. Yeah, 5 minutes.
Or you were saying you had a question?
Yeah, actually we were reading yesterday the Krishna book, and then because I just wanted to clarify, though we clarified, but still, like, it's always good to. So I'll just read a part, and Sneha ji, if you can get your English one, if Shilpa ji wants to hear it in English, then
Acha.
you can also
Okay.
get the English one. I'll read the Hindi one, and then you can read the English one. Is that okay?
Yeah, one.
Actually, there was this point that, okay, I'll just read, Shilpa ji. Or you want to finish this and then I'll read?
No, you can read now.
Okay. It was भगवत गीता में भी भगवान इसकी पुष्टि करते हैं कि वे विभिन्न जीवों को उनकी शरणागति के अनुसार स्थितियां प्रदान करते हैं। श्री भगवान के द्वारा जीवों को यह अनुपातित पुरस्कार पक्षपात नहीं है, अतः विभिन्न। Okay, no, not this one. It is before that because other hai. Okay, I'll read from here. चैतन्य चरितामृत के रचयिता श्री कृष्णदास कविराज गोस्वामी ने समस्त वैदिक साहित्य के अध्ययन तथा समस्त महात्माओं के विचारों का श्रवण करने के उपरांत अपना मत दिया है कि श्री कृष्ण ही एकमात्र परम स्वामी है तथा समस्त जीव उनके नित्य दास हैं। मूर्तिमान वेदों की स्तुति में उनके कथन की पुष्टि की गई है, अतः निष्कर्ष यह निकलता है कि प्रत्येक व्यक्ति श्री भगवान के नियंत्रण में है, प्रत्येक व्यक्ति भगवान के परम निर्देश के अंतर्गत सेवा कर रहा है तथा प्रत्येक व्यक्ति श्री भगवान से भयभीत है। उसके ही भय से कार्य उचित रीति से किए जा रहे हैं। सबकी स्थिति परमेश्वर के अधीन है, तथापि जीवों के प्रति भगवान के दृष्टिकोण में कोई पक्षपात नहीं है। So we just wanted to understand about the bhai, because
Should I read the English one? The English part?
yeah,
So
you
the
can read
bhai,
up till here. Or you want to read? You want her to read, Shilpa ji? Sneha ji padhe कि you can.
Or you
Okay.
yeah,
can,
Sneha can read. Yeah, Sneha can read.
Oh. In the Caitaniya Caritamita, the author Krishna Das Kaviraj Goswami, after studying all the Vedic literatures and hearing from all authorities, has given his opinion that Krishna is the only supreme master and that all living entities are his eternal servants. His statement is confirmed in the prayers by the personified Vedas. The conclusion is, therefore, that everyone is under the control of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Everyone is serving under the supreme direction of the Lord, and everyone is afraid of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. It is out of fear of Him that activities are rightly executed. Everyone's position is to be subordinate to the Supreme Lord. Yet the Lord has no partiality in his view of the living entities.
Mhm. Okay, and so
Yes.
what's the question?
So like the scaredness
Hmm,
कि
fear.
उनके भय. So
Everyone
like
is afraid.
so everyone is afraid of him. So like,
Yeah.
can you elaborate on this?
So for example, even Brahma Samhita we are hearing, right? That the sun goes in its own orbit by fear of Krishna. The wind is blowing by fear of Krishna. So Krishna has set the rules and regulations. We are simply following. And ultimately, we are all fearful of death. Krishna is coming. He says, time I am. And those who don't surrender to Krishna have to surrender to him in the form of death. Yeah. So one may be directly serving Krishna. And if one does not want to directly serve Krishna, one is indirectly serving him. And that's how we get fearful of him. Because
Yeah,
we
that's
So,
see
but
what.
the
then this
reactions.
does
We
not
see the
imply to the
reactions of
devotee.
the material nature. Huh?
This does not imply to the devotee because he or she is not scared of Krishna,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah, the devotee, that's why the more one becomes a devotee, to that degree he
Hmm.
becomes fearless.
Abhay, okay. Abhay Dan.
Abhay Charanaravinda, right?
We get
Fearlessness
that.
at the lotus feet of Krishna. So the more we take shelter of Krishna, the more actually we can feel the shelter of Krishna. To
Hmm.
that degree we can become fearless.
Yeah, they said the last line of the para we read, no? We finished with it.
Yeah.
That the
Nastik
only
and
difference is that the thief sees God as a supreme personality, the most beloved Krishna, and the atheist sees the absolute truth as ultimate death, because he
Yeah,
comes as death, right?
that,
God
yes,
comes.
that's what. And
actually,
everyone is afraid of death. Everyone is afraid of dying. So
I
that's
think
how
we,
everyone is afraid.
But we
Huh?
discussed
Yeah, that
differently,
was
right?
about, yeah, about the
Like the position, like if there
position,
is fear of to
yes.
lose the position, sun and moon or air, they have post. These are the post, and they fear to lose their position. That's
No,
why
and
they have
they should do
on the
their
their
duty,
duties
duty. Yeah,
properly.
their
Yeah,
duties.
their
the
Yeah,
prescribed
duty, we
on
duties
discussed
time they
about the
properly.
rise. On
duty.
time they say.
Hmm.
Yeah, but this is not true, right? This is related with devotion and like uh,
So the
the
devotee is not
afraid.
afraid. Yeah, so the
Yeah.
devotee is not afraid. That's what we have to understand. But one who's not a devotee will always be afraid. Just like the cat, he's holding the cat, she is holding the kitten in the mouth. So the kitten is not afraid. Kitten knows
Yeah.
my mother is holding me. But when the cat is holding the mouse is very afraid because mouse is saying,
Mm.
okay, now death is coming, I'm going to be eaten.
Mm. But for sun and moon or air, is there death for them also? Like
Yes,
why
of
they
course.
afraid?
Well, because they have to follow the orders of Krishna, right? Like suppose we are doing a job. We are doing the job. So we have to follow properly what the boss tells us. Otherwise, the boss will fire us. He'll say, hey, you're not doing your
This
job
we
properly.
discussed. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah,
he'll
that's
say,
what
get
I
out
told.
of here.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah. So
because
that's what it meant, no? Everyone
yeah,
is afraid of the Supreme, like
Uh,
the
like
demigods are afraid also because they want to do their job
duty. Yeah, it's
correctly,
different.
no? So yeah,
okay.
so they are afraid that they should not do it wrong, what
Mm.
post they're given, right?
So for material world, it is like related with death, right?
That's right.
Like we are afraid of death.
That's
No,
right.
knowingly or unknowingly, finally we have to like dissolve in the Krishna, but we are not going to back to
No, but
Godhead.
you will not
No,
dissolve. You again dissolve. Why
There's
you
no
want to know?
dissolve. There's no
like
dissolve.
not dissolve. Dissolve is not proper word, but we read like at the end of the yuga, we all
See,
go inside the Krishna, right? And then he, as per his desire, the new Brahman
yeah,
is created, right?
that's right. That's right. So,
So even we are not very pure, but finally we have to go inside the Krishna. उनके अंदर ही घुस जाना है ना, समाहित हो जाना है.
मगर वो भी
But not
end नहीं है.
dissolve. Dissolve is not proper word. Yeah, I know. I
But that
can.
is also still keeping us in the material world. Still then,
Mm.
when the new Brahmand is created,
Yeah,
again we
we'll
will
we'll send
come out
again.
of the body of Mahavishnu. Again we will get different bodies, again different planets, different species. So the goal is to go to the spiritual world
Back
and
to
stay,
Godhead.
yeah, stay in the spiritual world, in the spiritual body, do spiritual activities,
Uh-huh.
be with Krishna in the spiritual world. That is
Mm.
the goal. So
Okay.
to
So
not,
just want to make sure like we are just afraid of death in this material world because this death is in material world, right?
that's right. That's
Okay.
right. There's no
Mm.
death in the spiritual world.
Spiritual world. Yes, yes.
Yeah, there's no death there.
Be a devotee, then we will not be
Be afraid
scared.
of it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
we'll not be scared of death also because we know that if it is death also, then they are going to meet Krishna only after that. It's going back home. The death is taking them back home. They will not be scared. They will rather try to remember Krishna in that moment. That's what they want to do. They will not be
That's right.
scared. If you are a devotee, but it's very difficult. I know it's very high and difficult, but that we should aim at, that we are not scared of it. And at least we can remember Krishna and call out to Krishna so that we can go there. Because we
So
have
that's
read
why we
that,
are practicing, no? That's a
yeah,
hearing and
because we have
chanting
read
so
that
that
at the time of death,
mm,
whatever thing you remember, you go there.
yeah. So that's why we have to every day, every time remember
Yeah. We
Krishna
have to
by
practice. Yeah.
practice. Yeah. Hearing and chanting
Yeah.
is so important. Yeah.
Yeah.
Mm.
Okay. Is that okay then?
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Okay.
Perfect.
Okay. Srimad Bhagavatam ki jai, Srila
Teacher.
Prabhupada ki jai, Gaur Bhakta Vrinda ki jai. Hare Krishna.